thank you for the film. It's really just such a well-made feature. You know, feature films, when you run a film festival, you get 500-600 films, and the shorts are often really, really good, and like a truly well-made, great feature film, 2 hours is something you almost never see, to be honest. You never see something that's this well-made, this thoughtful, and honestly, I've seen it the whole way through twice now, and I'm just completely impressed with what you were able to accomplish. It's honestly caliber. And to be honest, I it's so real life, I guess is what I mean, and I found it so genuine. That's the word, genuine. That like I was expecting the filmmaking team to just be like two people on the screen. Like you, I just figured you were just like those guys I saw on the screen because it just seems so present. So great work writing it. You guys wrote together?
Yes.
And then directed?
I
Directed. Such great work.
Thank
Such
you.
great work and amazing performances from the whole cast.
Oh yeah.
Like top to bottom. And so I guess you wrote it together. Well, before I have you introduce the whole row, I guess I would just ask, I mean, I know it's a tough subject, and I know it's hard, but in our society, we've seen our share of spree killings way too often. And, one happened at the university I went to. And I really love how you handled the subject, and I love how you dealt with it. So, can you tell us what made you tackle it?
You mean the spree killings, the revenge?
Well, yeah, you were, spree killing, sort of troubled youth.
We took a lot of what was going on in the world today. And if you really look at the film carefully, you can see that. There are little things here and there that all relate to issues going on today. And the issue of the gunplay, I actually was very uncomfortable about having him have a gun from the start because of all the shootings, particularly school shootings. And at the time we wrote this, Sandy Hook had just happened. And so even though the gun thing was one of the first things we considered, we kind of pulled away from that, and we went the other route. We also didn't have to deal with blood or making messes and having to clean them up. And by the way, most of the blood in this film is digital, so hopefully it looked good because it's pretty amazing that we were able to do that without hurting anything. But anyway, I was trying to avoid that. But then I wanted to make a statement about gun. What happens when a gun gets into the hands of someone who is in this state? And that's why the turnaround towards the end with the gun. So.
Yeah, and I mean, what you're saying, because I mean, the character of Robbie is arguably having a much harder time than Turner, and it's just so you give us the humanity of people under stress, people in crisis, handling it differently. So, bravo, you really did great work. And so now, go ahead, introduce. Although maybe everyone knows. But
I don't think so. Hi, I'm Dara Taylor. I was a composer.
Oh, the music. The music was fantastic.
Thank you. And it's funny because I've never met most of the actors, but I've stared at their faces a lot. So I feel like I know them.
I've been with them every day, practically, for about 6 years.
Yeah, when did you wrote it around Sandy Hook. What was the production?
I think it was 2012 we started, the whole process, and it took a while. There's so much digital work, by the way, in this film. Every license plate was replaced. If you look at the movie posters in the back of the bedroom of Brian's room, when they're creating a website, they're all fake. They're modeled after the originals, but they're actually kind of funny if you read them, like East Side Story instead of West Side Story. So we had a lot of fun with it, but it took a lot of time.
Wow, yeah. I would not have thought there was anything digital.
Thank you.
Yeah, honestly. Seeing the blood splatter on a bigger screen, I was like, that looks pretty realistic. Like, I had a good bladder just explode. And you guys want to share how you felt about the project and how you got involved? We have three of the fine actors.
It was my first job ever.
Really?
Yeah, and it was it was a while ago, and it took so long because he's a perfectionist, and that's why you saw it on a big screen, and you know you're like, oh, that looks like a real blood splatter or whatever, and you said you saw all those people, and it looked like there's so many, like it was more realistic, as in there was less people. It was like 80% of the time we were shooting, it was Mike and one other person, just them two, and that second person
crew.
always switched out.
Usually 3.
No, it's 2. It's already done and it looks good, so you can. And no, but shit,
So
man.
purely independent filmmaking
Pure.
that comes out looking like if a Hollywood studio made a film about a 20-something going on a spree, it wouldn't look better than that. I mean,
Probably
that
have
was
superheroes.
yeah, there'd be capes, but besides that, but I mean, I didn't see compromise at all. I saw just a really well-made film. Their apartments looked realistic to me. The video
They
game
were
addiction
real.
was real. One thing that gave the timing away that it took you a long time is the age of the phones.
Actually, yeah. You know, we did some inserts with modern phones just a couple of years ago, I think, or maybe last year. I can't remember. But some of the close-ups were newer phones. But yeah, we caught that too.
Well, you know, it's fine. It's good. And well, let me open it up to the audience. Go ahead. If you have anything you want to say or ask, just throw a hand up. And is that one right there, or is that stretching? Here we go.
I think I heard the 6 years mentioned.
Yes.
Can you go into the genesis a little bit more about why it took so long?
I can tell you parts of it. He'll fill in the blanks. We started writing it 2012, 2011.
It was like 11,
Yeah, 2011.
right at the end.
I was going into college, and I really relate to Carlin's character the most in this film. I don't really relate to Turner. I was never bullied as a kid, but I felt really lost at that time in my life, and I knew that I was coming out of college, and I didn't know if I'd get a job. I didn't know what I was going to be doing, and I was freaking out, basically. And I think that's what Carlin's going through in this movie. And for me, that was my jumping off point for writing the script. And then he, of course, took the reins on the rest of it, so I'll let him talk about the production process.
Well, the filming, we took into consideration everyone's work schedules, and that just dragged out production for several months.
Got it.
I think we started in February, and my mother passed away right before the first day of shoot. And then I had to fly back, so we did shoot the first day because I just needed to do something before I left. And it didn't really go that well. Not because of my state, but because it just was our first day. And it was the beach scene, just the beginning of it. And then later on, we started. When I came back, we got started end of February, and we ended in August. But a lot of the actors were finished before that. You know, it took a few weeks for a couple of them, but again, certain days over a few weeks. But the longest thing was the editing process. We had the film built on a particular computer, and then and we had it mostly backed up. We were in the process of backing it up, and then it died, and it killed. There was some sort of interference, some sort of I don't know what it's called, but anyway, it killed a lot of the data on all of our backups and everything. So we tried to restore it. It cost some money, but they couldn't restore it, so we had to start the build all over again. Fortunately, we didn't lose any of the original footage, but that took time. So we were starting all over again when we were mostly finished. And then we did all that digital work. And every time we thought it was done, we would see something else that maybe could be a copyright issue, so we went in, like we took out the car emblems and just about anything that could possibly lead to a copyright dispute. And that took so long to get it just right. But it was mostly my perfectionism, Carlin.
Yeah. Like movie posters.
He knows me.
Movie posters, East Side.
Yeah, we got 2 or 3 versions of the poster over the last 2 months. But the poster looks gorgeous too. It's a great poster.
That's good.
Oh, well, thank you. I wanted to show his role was 360.
Originally, we had all classical music in the film. We actually had no orchestra or anything like that, and we kind of looked back at it and we thought that we wanted the classical music to be Turner's theme, whereas we needed more of a bombastic score for the rest of the film, and that's where Dara came in. We found her and she went to Russia or something. We found some orchestra that is incredible, and she did a great job, and it made our film, I mean, in my opinion, 3 times better than it probably would have been without that score.
And I might just say that, if you don't mind my saying, she was just nominated and won an HMMA award, is that correct? For her musical score of a film called Colwell, which features Karen Allen from Raiders of the Lost Ark. So that just happened this week, right?
Yeah.
So congratulations. That's a really nice score.
Was there more hands? Yeah.
It's just critically thinking, what's like the biggest like lesson or takeaway you want to take to the next project you're working on?
There's so many. I want to do a film that doesn't have murders in it. I'm kind of done with that for a while. Those scenes were, you know, when you're filming them, it's one thing, but when you look at the whole project and all those F-bombs, they were not in the script, so the actors were just getting the feeling of the roles. And I couldn't believe how many were in that one scene in the apartment before they left to hunt for Turner. I was counting, and it was like 25 or 27. But anyway, probably do less of that. More 4K work. Now that we have 4K, we didn't have that option back then. And this one is 2K. So you know, just a kind of an upgrade, but a more more friendly, optimistic film.
I have to say your murders are very well done in that I find them like socially responsible in a way because you feel it. It's not like a cold, like it's not like when someone dies, you don't care. The reaction from the people sitting behind me every time someone died was so real because you really do feel it, and the performances are fantastic. And then the performances, corpses are fantastic. I don't know how you got them to be so limp and bang their heads on cars as they're being dragged around, but just.
That was Peter. Peter, who's one of the Power Rangers on Nickelodeon now. He actually, his brother is a stuntman, and I think he's really into stunt work. So he was all for that. There was one moment when his eyes flickered, and I don't even know how he got his eyes to look so dead. But we worked really hard on that look of his face when he was dead. We had a workshop actually and tried to get the right look. So he looked dead, and but there was a little flicker of his eyes, and you can't see it because we digitally replaced that. That's how perfectionistic I didn't want that blink there. But yeah, he was incredible, and he was totally limp. And Nick had a terrible time lifting him. He was supposed to drag him, but he was in bare feet, so we didn't want him to hurt his feet. And he pulled him over, and he strained his back a little bit on that one. So.
What was the hardest scene to shoot?
The forest.
Yeah, it has to be the forest at the end when they're going through the emotional turmoil. And Michael, actually, the forest was not friendly to us because they had all these sand flies. And if you look real closely at the film, you can see them. They're getting in our mouths, our eyes, our nose. And when Michael was dying, he actually kicked, not on purpose, I know, but it actually kicked like a stone or a piece of glass into my eye. And I had problems with my eye after that, but I never told him because I didn't want him to feel bad. But the scene with the two characters emoting, that was so powerful. And you should have been there. It was just as powerful because we filmed it all in one take. And it was real hard for Nick to keep his arm up and real hard for, you know, the camera to be held up as well. So there were long takes because I didn't want to chop it up and lose that momentum. So the emotional power of that scene is very real. And it was so tiring, we had to do it like 2 or 3 days. I think it went over 3 days. We kept coming back and doing it again in the different, levels, medium and wide and so on. So that was really tough. You're right. That's a good call.
Actually, we only have time for like 1 or 2 more. I think.
I guess this can kind of go down for each person, but I want to know like what you guys are looking on next. So let me see what's coming up.
So I just, well, I'm auditioning now. I'm just looking for the next job. But I just did an episode of NCIS New Orleans, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, most recently. And then I'm just kind of in the guest star world right now, trying to find that series. That's it.
I might interject too before you go that Nick is the lead, Turner Risk. He's in a show called Legacies on CW too.
Right now, I'm not actually actively auditioning. I'm actually focusing more on dance. So that's another passion of mine apart from acting. Just taking a bunch of dance classes and performing with the Gay Men's Chorus of LA. I've been with them for the past 6 years, and we have a show coming up. I think the weekend before Christmas at the Alex Theater. So. I'm in those 3 dance numbers, so you can check that out.
Awesome. I'm actually haven't been anything in a while. I'm still actively auditioning and still taking classes, still learning, still trying to get better. But yeah, I actually live in San Diego, so it's always like a tough trip to and from LA. So yeah.
Going back to real life, free agent, writing whatever he's gonna let me write, things like that.
Working on I've been doing a lot of documentaries lately. One for Netflix, one for FX, and then a bunch of indie stuff. Yeah, sending in lots of reels.
All right, well, I really want to thank you for the film. It's really a wonderful film. I really want to thank the supportive audience. It takes a lot to get people out to see a film these days, so thanks for not staying home. Thanks for supporting this great film, and thank you everyone for coming.